All right, we are here. Hey guys, welcome to what is our call? Limitless Army and Above the Cut call. And today is October 25th. And Darlene and I kind of spoke about the topic of the call this morning because we thought that it'd be good to kind of elaborate a little bit more on the time management call that went so well and people had a lot of questions on, and kind of give more about organization, etc., in your business. So I came up with about 5 tips that I think are useful. But prior to, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about why I feel like I'm a good person to talk about this. And primarily it's because I'm not a very organized person, and it's something I've had to learn to do. I started this business as I always had a desire to do the business part of it, but when I first joined, it was a discount and the idea of like, oh well, maybe I can help a couple people when I become a coach. So I started off the bat running challenge groups because I really love that part of being a coach, and I just love helping people with their fitness journeys, etc. So I would sell challenge packs, but it was never like organized. It was kind of like, oh, if somebody contacts me, then I'll sell a challenge pack to them. And if they don't, well, then that's fine. And sometimes I'd be like low on successful points, and then I'd say, oh, well, I need to invite X amount of people in order to sell a challenge pack. But it was never really like, there was no rhythm to it. It was just kind of, this month I'm doing good, next month I may not be, and I didn't really have any type of organization. I was also working full-time in marketing and teaching group fitness classes. So I kind of just worked the business whenever I could. And there's another coach on Luminous Nation, Cindy. We kind of had like the same mindset. We were just like, oh, when it fits, it fits. And if it doesn't, whatever. So I really had to teach myself to become organized. And I feel like now, 3 years in, I finally have some real organization where I no longer feel crazed. And if I can help you shorten your length of time from, the first time you sign up to 3 years later, that's a long time. So if it can be like 6 months, a year, even better for you. So here, I'll start with my first tip. I was going to mute Ronaldo, but see, sometimes it's somehow disappeared. So my first tip is going to be just basically reiterating what we talked about in the time management call, which is you need to work from a list. And you need to sit down and really think about what your day looks like and think about how things fit into that day. So, Darlene talked about in the time management call how she sits down and looks at her day and writes it all down. What does it look like? Where can she fit in Team Beachbody? What time is she going to do her workout? When is she going to drink her Shakeology? When is she going to have her meals? When is she going to invite? Who is she inviting? And it seems like crazy to do that. And it does seem crazy to me as well. But when you do it and you look at the places where you have gaps, you realize that you do have a lot of little gaps throughout the day where you spend a lot of time scrolling through social media, or you spend a lot of time, staring at a wall at work, or whatever it might be, looking through your emails, or, walking through the office and talking to a couple of people. Things that you could refocus your energy into your business. So, you need to start learning how to rule your planner. And right now, it's a good idea to start thinking about that because it's something that you can master towards the end of the year so that next year it's like under control and you feel so much more like in control of everything that's happening in your day. So I would advise you to start looking at your day. Just write it down. But like, it's the same thing as when in your fitness journey, you sit down and you write down your foods, right? And you look at, oh, this is everything I ate. Whoops, there goes another, whatever that special treat might be that you used to always eat. And then you realize, oh, I seem to always eat that around 2:00. So maybe that's a good time to have Shakeology because I can avoid having that meal. So it's the same thing, writing it all down so that you can then see it objectively instead of just going through the motions and going, oh, when I have time, maybe I'll work my Beachbody business. Yeah, thank you. And so that would be that's my first tip for you. My second tip is to definitely sit down and ask for help. So if you want to build this business and you want to, you need to have that time for that power hour, and that power hour is really serious. And I remember hearing this a lot when I was a new coach. And then I do recall having this conversation with my husband at some point and telling him, I need to have a focused hour a day where I'm going to work on this business. And I'm not going to stop what I'm doing for that hour to, listen to what's going on, or I don't want to have conversations in that hour. That hour from, it used to be like 9 p.m., around 10 p.m., where I'm just going to work on my business. And I had to have that, really adult conversation with him. And if it's not him, if it's a family member, or if it's friends, or if it's a roommate, or if it's your children, or whatever it might be, having that conversation and letting people know, like, this is really important. This is going to help us with X, Y, Z, and I need to have my hour to complete these tasks. And then now that you've told them that, they're your family, or they're your friends, or they're, people who are very important to you. So you're even more likely to stick with it because now you've told someone who's really special that you need an hour of concentrated time and to leave you alone. So you wouldn't just waste that hour on social media now that you've told them that these are your goals. So that's definitely something that if you haven't had that conversation and it's, it is important to you, then it's something you should do. Also, I know that prior to when I used to work in an office, my lunch break was never really my lunch break. I was always sitting at my desk working through it. And you are allowed a lunch break at work. A lot of people forget that when they get into those habits. And sometimes it is going back to your coworkers or your boss and being like, look, I'm really going to take this lunch break and I'm going to, detach from that. And you're going to go to a coffee shop, or you're going to go somewhere else and get out of the office, because it's better for you anyway to do that. But also, you should take advantage of that 45 minutes or hour that you do have to, do something else that may be also important to you. I remember when I did work in an office and I started graduate school, that was a big time for me to work on grad school. And I had to set those boundaries and say, sorry, I'm not taking meetings at this time because I need to study. And I had an office, so I'd close my office door, and it was like, leave me alone. This is what I'm doing. It seems like, I can't do that, right? No, they've already gotten used to me working through lunch, or my boss will never do that. But when you start asserting yourself because it's important to you, it's better for everybody at the end of the day. You won't feel like you've been cheated your time. And they all start realizing, what, she does deserve her hour or whatever it is that you get for lunch. And you should be able to take that time to do something else. And if it is Beachbody, or maybe it's the other things in your house or other little things you need to take care of, so you're not going to be taking care of that at 9 p.m. when you're trying to do your power hour, then that's what you do. But you need to you start having those conversations if it is something that's important to you. Number 3 is working from a calendar. So especially newer coaches may not recall this call, but I do have a call on my YouTube. Darlene and I can share it. It is how I work my month, and it literally is how I still work my month. I've been doing that for over a year. I don't even remember when I made that video, but pretty much what Darlene and I do every single month is we run a free group for the first week of the month. We follow that free group with a challenge group that we invite everyone who attended the free group to. And then we run 2 coach sneak peeks in between that. So every week there's something going on, and it's consistent. It never changes. There's always a new free group coming up in the month. There's always a challenge group coming up in the month. There's always 2 sneak peeks for people to learn about Beachbody, and we just keep them going. So people just get used to that consistency. They get used to seeing that you are, working, and that you're doing something that they do want to be part of. And maybe the first time they go through the free group, they don't even pay attention. They join the group and they never comment. And you're like, how many bust groups that we have, Darlene? Like tons. And people would be like gone. But then the next month you'd be like, I'm doing another group. And sometimes you got the same faces, and then you get some extra new faces. And all of a sudden they're like, wow, she's serious. She keeps doing this. And she's like, I've followed all of my free groups, even throughout my pregnancy. Like I've continued with them, whatever they might be, whether it's a squat challenge or a free clean eating group or whatever. I do it too. So a lot of the people who join and keep watching, and those people who love free stuff and keep seeing it, they're gonna catch on. Like, this is not just a silly thing I do. This is like real deal. And when they stop after the 5 days, I keep going. And eventually they're gonna join the challenge group because I've shown them that I'm consistent. And I've shown them that I don't give up, on people or on myself. So they're more likely to want to be part of my challenge group. The other thing about just being consistent with a calendar, you don't have to follow our calendar. You can create your own calendar, something that works better for you. But just showing people that you do these things all of the time will encourage them to want to participate in your world, because they're going to be like, wow, I'm not as consistent as she is. I want to do what she's doing. I want to follow, the schedule that she's following. I want, to work out and get myself in my, in a regular routine. And I've had people message me and tell me, like, it's your consistency that makes me want to join you, because they're missing that, right? And if you work from a calendar and you kind of put it out there every single month, it's easier for you to stay consistent yourself. Darlene and I have already put together our calendar for next year, and literally it was so easy to do. It was like, this week clean eating, this week challenge group, this week sneak peek. Like it's like we're just gonna do it over and over and over and over again. And a lot of new coaches will say, well, no one joined my group, or everybody who joined my free group didn't participate, or I didn't sell anything from my free group. And it's like, that's okay. The first time you do it, the second time you do it, the third time you do it, you may have duds. It will happen. You may have an amazing group, who knows? But most likely you're getting, your feet wet. So you're learning how to coach people, which is never, a learning opportunity. It's always a good opportunity. So you're learning those things, and then they're seeing the way you roll, which is great at the end of the day. So it's really not a dud just because you didn't get a sale out of it, the first 4 times that you run it. Eventually you do get better at it. You do get better at asking the right questions. You do get better at explaining the challenge pack. And these people, they're already there with you. They've already been doing it with you. You've built some relationships. So I will make sure to share the How I Work My Month video for my team, and I'm sure Darlene will share it on hers. It's also on luminousnation.com. Yeah, I remember. The other thing is, personal development, very, very important. And I know that for Darlene's team, she's doing the 12-week year currently with a lot of the coaches on the team. But if you have never read Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy or The Compound Effect, those are really good books to read when it comes to this business. Eat That Frog is all about attacking that one thing you keep putting off, attacking it first in the day. So we all know that there's one thing about this business that scares us. For a lot of us, it's inviting. So, eating that frog and saying, I'm going to do that early in the morning. I'm going to do that before, like they say, like work out before your mind catches on to what your body's doing. Same thing with inviting. Do it early. Do it as the first thing in your power hour, or do it early in the day, even if you don't do anything else in your power hour, and send out those invitations so that, one, you feel super accomplished. You did something that you've probably been terrified of doing before. But secondly, you've got it done. Now all you have to do is wait for people to get back to you. And then the next day you do it again. I think I've shared on this call before that I used to send my invitations super early in the morning in the beginning, like 6 a.m. because I knew that nobody was looking at them. No one's looking at their messenger at that time. Even if they're awake, they're not really on Messenger to answer that question. So I'd send them really early, right before I started checking in on my challenge group, because I just knew I can send them and they'll sit there for a little while and I can get control of my life. And then when people answer me back, I'll feel a little bit more okay, I can answer. So Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And then The Compound Effect is all about exactly what the book's title is. It's about all those little habits that we talk about all of the time, the vital behaviors, invite, proof of the product, personal development, and recognition, and how those little things just start building upon one another and lead you to success. I mean, if you invite 3 people a day, in a 30-day month, that is how many people? It's 90 people. How many people is that? 90 people. If you do personal development every day, you pretty much could read a full book in about 2 weeks, let alone a month. What's our other one? Prove the product. I mean, in 30 days, we're seeing with Core to Force the amazing transformations that people are seeing just from doing, something consistently for 30 days. So The Compound Effect is a really good book to read to remind you of all of the reasons why we say to do the things you need to do in this business. And then lastly, it's duplication, and in both ways. Duplication in looking at what's on luminousnation.com, looking at what's on your team files, looking at some of the things that Darlene and I have put out to the team that's available. We have scripts. We have guides on how to run challenge groups. We have everything that we've done ourselves out there publicly for our team to access. And a lot of people don't. You just don't look through it. You feel overwhelmed on the team pages, or you don't even, it's there, but you just, for whatever reason, don't take a look at it. And when I first became a coach, one of the first things I did was go to Team Eagle files and look through everything that Saudi Almonte had posted and copied and pasted everything, because I knew I wanted a team myself. And I said to myself, I need to master these things that Saudi has mastered, and then I need to make it my own so that I can make it I could duplicate it with my team. So I would suggest you to do the same thing. Like, start looking through the files and looking at how you can cut your own time. There's so many things that, you know, you might be struggling with that's already out there, easier, already laid out for you. If a customer says this, you say this. If somebody gives you this objection, you answer this way. If you want to post a Transformation Tuesday post, here's the skeleton example on how to write it. If you want to like create a graphic, there's like so much out there that helps you stay organized, but also cuts your, you know, the learning curve. You know, one of the things that I was on there was an 8 p.m. call or 8 p.m. call for Team Eagle today with some of the girls who were on the leadership retreat. And one of the things that Gabby said was like, focus on the things that you're good at. And then it's not that don't focus on the rest, but rely on what the team has on the rest. So for her, for example, she's really good at the vital behaviors. And she felt like she can control the vital behaviors. But she can't, she said it herself, she can't make a picture look pretty. She can't put an ad together. She can't do those things. She's just, that's not her thing. So she looks to what Audrey shares, or she looks to what other people share. And then she just, okay, let me put my picture on something that looks like that. And she moves on, because she's not going to spend 30 minutes to an hour trying to make something look cute. Because that's not her thing. You know, if Darlene has a coach sneak peek coming up and you don't feel comfortable running your own, tap into hers. Boom, easy. You have somebody who's into coaching. Hey, Darlene, can I add this person to your sneak peek? She's going to say yes. And you just move on, and that's it. And your day just became less stressful because you're tapping into what the team is offering to you. So those are my tips on staying just a little bit more organized and not feeling so crazed. I'm going to unmute Darlene, see if she has anything else to add about. Oh, unmute your audio. There you go.
I was like, you stopped my video. You
I'm sorry. You have to start your video again?
Yeah, I can press on it.
Oh. All right, let's start.
Click on the camera.
Oh, okay.
I'll start my video. There you go. Oh, there you go. No, I actually, you hit it pretty much on the nail on the head. It's all about consistency. I actually had this afternoon, one of our team members came over to my house because she needed help with, you know, how to be organized and how to, you know, make her schedule work. And she came with her planner, and we sat down, and it was amazing to me. Like, she would ask questions. I'm like, but that's not Luminous Nation. And she would ask another thing about free clean eating group. I'm like, but that Luminous Nation teaches you that. Like, we have a free clean eating group section. And then she was asking me questions about how to close. I'm like, but that script is on Luminous Nation. So it was like, basically, if anything that from all the tips that Melissa said, if you're going to take anything from tonight, is consistency is huge. And when you start plugging in and finding your mojo, whether, you know, that's a kind of, and I told my team, I was like, you guys, you're not going to succeed if you don't have a planner. If you have a planner and you just start writing things down, 21 days, you're going to form a habit, and it's going to become second nature to you. But 2, your life is going to be that much productive, because then you're working off something that, whether you know, you're using it for business and personal, but it's going to save you so much time. It's going to save you a ton of time. So just the consistency is huge. Duplication is already in there. There's no reason why you need to create anything from scratch. Everything, it's actually done for you. All you literally need to do is copy, paste, and tweak it to make it your own words. But yeah, you basically said it all.
And then the other thing is, like, don't be afraid to, you know, take what's out there and then change it to have your voice.
We do it all the time.
The reason that it's out there, like, I was talking to Darlene, and you know, when I decided that I was going to start doing clean eating groups, or that I was going to start doing my month the way I did it, you know, it wasn't Audrey who told me to do that. It wasn't my upline coach who told me to do that. Neither one of them do those things. It was because I went out there and tried to find out, well, what are other coaches doing to be successful? Because, you know, I'm not finding the success that I want. And as I started searching, I found that some coaches do these things called free groups, and some coaches do these sneak peeks, and some coaches, you know, have these calendars. And I was like, I can work off of that. That works for my brain. That helps me stay organized. But if you're hearing this and you say, that doesn't work for me, none of what you're saying works for me, then go out there and find what does and do it your way. Maybe it's making that list that we talked about and then splitting it up into like 4 different 15-minute chunks. That's okay. You know, it's okay to say, I can't sit down for an hour and work this business. Not everybody can. But you can, you know, maybe you do have 2 30-minute blocks, or you do have 4 15-minute blocks, or you have, you know, these random times in the day where you feel like, I can do this thing here. But if you have the list, then you can start checking it off and making sure you're not doing things twice or getting lost online or whatever it might be. So take what we're teaching you and then make it fit your lifestyle. You know, everybody has different dynamics in their home. Everybody has a different, you know, schedule. Everybody has different times where the gaps of their day are a little bit looser, that they can do some things. But, you know, for me personally, the hour works. I can sit down for an hour. Anything longer than that, Darlene knows I can't. I'm like, maybe do something fun. But it's really like dependent on you. Start with the training that's out there and start with all the information that's out there to cut the learning curve tremendously for yourself, and help you, you know, with the organization of the buckets of what you need to do. So do we have questions? Any out there?
You guys are thinking or you're wondering.
Where do you get the ideas for your free groups, and what types of free groups do you offer? So you mentioned clean eating.
Yeah. So for the first year and a half, maybe, I only did clean eating. I ran the same group every month with the same eating plan.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was the same group. If you wanted to be in the group again, I would say, sure, it's the same exact thing we did last month. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't have any other content. And I was like, you know what? There's going to be new people to go through it, so I don't need new content. So I started there, and then I kind of just see what other coaches are doing. So someone did a squat challenge, and I'm like, okay, a squat challenge, that sounds easy enough. There's a lot of stuff on Pinterest if you just look up like challenges, fitness challenges, and you can take, you know, 5 days worth and make it your own. Some people do
water challenge
clubs, water challenges. Some people do a certain podcast, for example, like you can have people listen to a number of like 5 different 30-minute podcasts and have them, you know, kind of working towards something. I've seen people like in the new year do savings ones where like you work together to save a certain amount of money. And there's like on the first you save this dollar, and then like those that you see that on Pinterest. It always comes up on January 1st, how to like save $100 or whatever. It really could be anything. It doesn't even have to be fitness, because the idea is to set yourself up as a expert in something and to start holding people accountable. Like if you think about it, the saving money one, I can't remember who used to do that all the time. There was a coach who did that all of the time. And she said what she would do is she would tell them, well, when you get to $140 saved, guess what?
Yeah.
You're getting a challenge pack. And it helped all those money objections for that specific coach who used to do that, because it was like, you know what, I'm going to help you get your $140 that you say you don't have. And then by the end of the month, she'd have, 3-5 people who got to $140 or $152, whatever, with tax and shipping. And there they go. They can buy a challenge pack from her.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I don't know who it was, but I know that someone used to do that all the time. And it's like super easy, to put that together if you think that way monetarily and you have a lot of those objections. It's like, boom, let's save money. You always say you don't have money. Let's do it. So you can come out with anything, really. And people are, you'll start finding that people will, if you do something consistently, people will catch on and be like, oh, wow. Like, think about it. If you did, when I do a clean eating group, for example, and I get people who lose 3-5 pounds in a week, and they tell their friends, wow, I did this thing with this girl and I lost 3 to 5 pounds this week. Or they think about it on their own in their house. They're like, I want to join her for 30 days. Because if I could lose 5 pounds or 3 pounds this week, imagine what I could do in 30 days. And that already plants, a seed in their head. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks.
I'll give you an example for you guys. Today I was dealing with an objection. Actually, Melissa know, because we were working together when I got the objection. And I started asking questions. She basically flat out told me, oh yeah, Shakeology, I can afford it. And I was like, wow, what do you mean? But I haven't even gone through the interview process for you. So what did I do? I was like, you know what? Let me try, because we call Gabby the closer. So I was like, Luminous Nation, we added the script, how to close someone like a pro. And I started digging deep. Now, when I hit her pain point, and I hit it like it stung. Because when I answered that question, it was question number 8. Like, if you look yourself in the mirror, what do you see? And she broke down. And she broke down to the point where she started talking about her relationship and how she doesn't love the way she looks right now. And that's a negative stage to leave her. So I immediately went to the next question. What do you want to see in return once, you go through a transformation or something? What do you want to see in return in the mirror? You guys, she just bought a challenge pack. Basically, she broke down. She told me what she wanted to see. I reaffirmed everything she told me. Okay, so you told me that you want to lose 50 pounds because you don't like the way you look. And you told me that your eating is horrendous and you're having issues with, in your relationship, and you feel it's because you're obese. And, are you, and she kept answering, yes, yes, yes. And totally, I'm like, so it sounds to me like you're completely ready to start this challenge, and money shouldn't be an objection, because you have to think about you and you come first. And she's like, okay, send me the link, I'm ready. So when we tell you you have the tools at your disposal, go find it. It's out there, and it's out there to help you. Like, basically, you have everything. And I was telling Melissa this morning, I was like, oh my God, she told me no, I haven't even spoken to her. I didn't even get to question number 8. Mm-hmm. And I kept speaking to her, and I when she told me no, I was like, oh my goodness, help me understand where your mindset is. Like, why are you saying no right away? Well, it's too expensive. Well, I felt the same way when I first, was going through my journey, and I found a way. I found a way because I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I didn't like that I was hiding from my husband when I used to get dressed, because that's not what he married into. And I started connecting with her. because I started asking those interview questions, and I was forming her, and I was empathizing with her, and I was basically right there with her. So you have everything. And Wendy, just like with the clean eating challenge groups, the forms are there. I don't know if you've seen it. And we have new ones that are coming. We're just basically trying to build it. And I told one of the teammates today, I was telling her, because she's like, oh, we should have more. I'm like, absolutely. Like, if you guys have some and we could just add them on, bring it on. Like, just send it over and I'll upload it. Because the more we have, the merrier, the more choices that we have to use. But everything is up there. No other questions? You guys are good. Did everybody sign up for Team Spirit? I signed up for it too.
I signed up for it, yeah. It's just through Luminous Nation, right?
Yeah.
The team. And then afterwards, you don't really have to do nothing but hit Success Club, and you're like, good.
It goes towards the team and it goes towards to you.
Yeah.
So we win as a team and you win as an individual. So you're contributing from both.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's 10:15, so we are going to let you guys go. Someone's finished his homework?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of something.
He's trying to think of something. Well, now he knows how to organize his business. So.
Oh, yes, he does.
All right. Good night.
Good night, ladies.